Ah, 2022. Such a fine year where nothing bad happened at. Oh. Uh. Maybe think of a better for animation. Okay, fine. 2022 sucked as much as the previous 2 years, but there were still good animated movies around. Maybe. Oh boy. Okay, so I did do this last year where I ranked all the animated films of 2021, except with that, it was way less, quality because, I mean, look at the date. 1 year ago, 11 months ago. Also, the video split into two parts, not because that I had to, but because I accidentally misclicked on my phone and the recording stopped. So that was, if I deleted that was 8 minutes of my life I was never gonna get back. So yeah, I had to split the two parts. Oops. And like last year, I'll be using uh these the animated movies reviewed by Electric Dragon 505 as examples for animated films released in 2022. Since if I will kind of every animated film released in this year, then this will kind of be 5 hours long, which I'm not doing that. So yeah, without further ado, let's go. Like last year, I have a ranking list of all the animated films of this year. So S is for amazing, A is for great, B is for good, C is for decent or average, D is for okay, E is for bad, and F is for OMG, so bad. But then there's haven't seen or never will. This is like in a category of stuff I haven't seen and I want to see, and stuff that I do not want to see. Ever. You'll probably find that over in this side. So without further ado, let's begin starting from the beginning of the year. First off, you got Hotel Transylvania 4. Yes, 4. There's 4 of these movies. I put that in D tier. Now, I really like the previous Hotel Transylvania movies, but this one really was not good at all. I guess the animation was still okay, but, like, Derek Draymond directed this. You know, a guy who worked at SpongeBob, which it would be better if he actually read the movie, but this is Hotel Transylvania. He is not meant, a former director of SpongeBob is not meant to direct a franchise that has 3 movies in and is on its last. And usually last movies are supposed to be big, massive films, or at the very least good films, but for some reason, they just decided to slack on this one. Which I'm over here like, bruh, make a good movie. At least Sony is finally out of this franchise and they can start actually focusing on great movies like the upcoming Spider-Verse movies and as well as their R-rated movies, which, mind you, Gendy Tartakovsky, who made this franchise, is directing 2 of those R-rated or 15/18 rated films, if you live in the UK. Next up is the Ice Age Adventures of. Oh, what? Where do you think this film goes? It is one of the biggest disgraces of film I've ever seen in my entire life. If you watch my videos, you know that I did a review on this movie way back in March, and I said that it was one of the worst, most god awful movies I'd ever seen in my life, and it's not opinion still stands. It is one of the most god awful, abominable, stupid, cringeworthy, most illogical movie I've ever seen in my entire goddamn life. Or one of, I don't know. It's like, what do I even say about this movie? It is the worst Ice Age movie, the worst Disney movie, and the worst animated movie of 2022 by a landslide. This movie is terrible with everything, aside from a few a few funny moments. But aside from that, this movie can just stay in back in time and never come back ever again. So it will never see the light of day, and they'll get hit by me. See, it's sucking the funny out of me. We ought to move on. Next up is Turning Red. I put that in B tier. It's a really good film, especially by Pixar standards, and I've already said why it's pretty good, so You can check that out. So I wouldn't call it great though, because sometimes it can be a bit much. But it's definitely not because it didn't have any 9/11 in it. It's like, seriously, Mr. Enter, what the hell is wrong with that guy? But anyway, I'm not going to get into that because this is an actual quality channel and he is not quality. He is just pure unadulterated bullshit. Next up is The Bad Guys. And yep, it's going right up in A tier. I'm going to do this thing where I'm going to see which is the film is going to go in S tier. All the A tiers are basically on the same quality, so you're going to try and guess which one is the best one. But yeah, I did a review. You know why I love this film so much. It's one of the best DreamWorks movies. I don't even know if I have a list of the best DreamWorks movies because I've only seen a few of them. So yeah. Next up is Apollo 10.5, A Space Age Childhood. I haven't seen it. Yeah, it's been on Netflix for about half a year now, and I still haven't seen it. Well, that's because it's Richard Linklater. You think I'm gonna want that to be my first film from his? Also, no, I'm just kidding. I really haven't had the time, or probably because I really don't care about it. So, yep, I probably won't watch it, but I really want to because it looks amazing. But I've heard that's not. What the hell am I having? I've heard that's really good, but also heard that's not really good. So I don't know. I'll just have to actually watch it and find out. Next up is the Bob's Burgers movie. I give that a 7.5 and a B tier. Yeah, I started watching Bob's. I was hesitant on started watching Bob's Burgers, and then I started watching it, and oh wow, big shock! I actually really like it. It's one of the most wholesome adult animated shows I've ever seen, which is very odd because a lot of adult animated shows are either really mean spirited for just being the sake of mean spirited or just being really plain awful. But then comes Bob's Burgers, and it's actual good adult animation because the characters, feel like real people instead of just punchlines to be made fun of. Like, seriously. I mean, if you want to be if you want to be a mean spirited show, then it only makes it funny if the characters are relatable. But sometimes it's not. But here, the characters are really relatable, especially Bob himself, who is considered the best dad in any animated show, and I can obviously see why. But yeah, really, really, really good movie. Highly recommend it. Next up is Lightyear. A tier. For some reason, I enjoyed this movie so much more than I probably should have. It's such an action-packed, exciting, beautifully animated origin story of Buzz Lightyear. It would have been better if they really went dark with it, even going for that PG-13 rating. But unfortunately, it's just your regular PG, and there's not even that many swear words in it. But I still really love it. It's not the best, but it is really good, and definitely a contender for that beautiful S tier rating. But yeah, I really enjoyed Lightyear a lot. So, yeah. Next up is Minions 2: The Rise of Gru C tier. Yeah, I really like the Despicable Me movies. But for some reason, probably because they're really wholesome sometimes, and the Minions aren't as in your face. Even in the Minions movie from 2015, even then I still feel really nice watching it. It's a really good movie. But for some reason, they just decided to go off the wall with this new one. Because I can't even look down for 1 second without something crazy happening on the screen. They really went over the top with this one. And it's just not good unless you actually have a structure to being over the top as all unimaginable hell. But yeah, it's probably my least favorite Despicable Me movie as of now. Unless, Minions 3 comes out and it's literally on the same level as Ice Age Adventures of Buck Wild. Next up is The Sea Beast. B tier. Oh yeah. This is now one of the longest American animated movies, clocking in at a 1 hour and 55-minute runtime. Ayo! And it's a really good movie. Of course, it's really beautifully animated. It's really funny for some reason. And yeah, but it sometimes feels the main like sea beast looks like Toothless from How to Train Your Dragon, and the ending is kind of a cop out. They could have made it a bit longer, but I guess it was just getting too long. I mean, it's 115 minutes, so if you of course they're gonna have to shorten the movie a bit. And yes, I did watch the movie and I did check. It is indeed an hour and 55 minutes. I'm not getting tricked again like with the Mitchells versus the Machines being in 114 minutes when it was only 109. That really makes you think about how tricky it is to think about animated movies movie length. Anyway, pretty good movie, kind of familiar, but not that much. Really good animation, charming characters, but kind of a cop out ending, and CB's looks very familiar for some reason. Next up is Paws of Fury, The Legend of, yeah, I haven't seen it. I'm really that surprised. Moving on. Next up is DC League of Super Pets, and I'm gonna be real with you, Chief. A tier. Yeah, this is the big A tier surprise of the year. For some reason, I really enjoyed the movie the first time. I gave it like a 7. But then when I watched it again, I can't think of anything wrong with it. It's so funny, so charming, so freaking adorable, and actually kind of earns its PG rating because the turtle swears. Like, the turtle says the S word twice and the F word, but it's censored, obviously. And even says crap in one scene, and plus it's like the guinea pig has sort of a creepy sort of stalker love for Lex Luthor, but we're not going to get into that because you can watch my review on this. Anyway, yeah, I really love this movie, and it's a possible contender for the S tier reward. Yeah. So it doesn't matter if these three movies are worse. They're all on the exact same quality, so they're all capable of being able to win the honorable S tier award. Plus, we still gotta trudge through more animated movies, and our next subject is Luck, which I have not seen. Which I'm not gonna get Apple TV Plus just to get this movie, because why would I? I can literally watch any other movie because this I really don't care about, so I'm probably never gonna watch this. Besides, it's also made by John Lasseter, and he has a history, a very not so kid friendly history, if you know what I mean. But yeah. Anyway, moving on. Next up is Wendell and Wild, which I also haven't seen. Damn it! Yeah, I literally have no time at all to watch these movies, or I'm just not bothered to watch them. But yeah, I really want to watch this movie. It's not cinematic, but it's the return of Henry Selick, the guy who directed The Nightmare Before Christmas, James and the Giant Peach, Coraline. So of course I had to watch this film sometime because it's Henry Selick. You can't go wrong with him except for Monkey Bone. Next up is My Father's Dragon, which is in B tier. It's probably the lowest 7 out of 10. It's probably my second least favorite Cartoon Saloon movie because, like, I don't know, it just felt like there were too many mood jumps. Felt too American. Felt too, like every other animated film ever made. It was just, I hate to say it was generic. It's not it's not the worst Cartoon Saloon movie. That goes to Secret of Kells because that is an absolute bonkers movie, not in a good way. It's like a 6. And it's definitely not comparing to the other three Cartoon Saloon movies, which are far better in every way, like the Song of the Sea, The Breadwinner, and of course Wolfwalkers, which I said before is one of my favorite animated movies of all time. But yeah, My Father's Dragon is just there. It's good. Has very beautiful animation, obviously, with Cartoon Saloon, but I don't know, it just felt too generic, which is something I do not want to talk about in a Cartoon Saloon movie. And the next 4 animated films I all haven't seen. Puss in Boots hasn't come out in my country yet. I don't want to watch these two because one is a sequel to an adequate animated film that people say is adequate or just bad, and the other is an animated sequel that doesn't even have Ben Stiller in it, and one I actually want to see but I haven't had time to. So all of them go into the haven't seen category. I made this bigger for a reason, but still was too small for all the animated movies I haven't seen this year. God damn it. So yeah. And now, let's see which one of these three is the best animated movie of the year in my opinion. Okay, so Lightyear has beautiful animation, memorable characters, a really good twist, and of course, it's I love how dark and dramatic it is sometimes, but it could have been a bit longer, and there could have and Buzz himself is just a bit boring. DC League of Super Pets also has really good animation, really memorable characters, very good mature tones, sometimes figuratively and literally. But so it also could have been a bit longer. How funny these movies have the exact same runtime, and maybe it could some of the characters could be a bit more fleshed out, like Lex or the actual Justice League, who are just there. And could have been gone a bit more darker sometimes, but I don't know. Then you got the bad guys. Really, really great animation, really memorable characters, a really good mean spirited tone, and of course, a really good story. But also has a predictable twist villain if you read the books, and that kind of kills a lot of the mood once the twist villain is revealed. But there are still good twists in it. And the award for the best animated film of the year goes to. And big shock. Oh boy, you guys are really going to be surprised with this one. It's The Bad Guys. Woo, who could have saw that coming? Yeah. There's really nothing about it. It's the best animated film of the year. It's literally near perfect. Still an 8 or an 8.5. I don't know. Either 8.25. I don't know. And it's still a great film all around. So yeah, that's basically my ranking of this year's animated films. So in the haven't seen category, you got Apollo 10.5, A Space Age Childhood, Positive Fear, The Legend of Hank, Luck, Wendell and Wild, Pinocchio, Puss in Boots 2, Dario of Wimpy Kid, Roger Rules, and Night of the Museum 4, with a very unpronounceable title. And then in F tier, you got the Ice Age Adventures of Buckwild, or as I like to call it, one of the worst movies in the history I've ever seen. I've been in my entire life. I know I should ever watch it. Nothing in E tier because there wasn't anything that was in like that 3 or 4 out of 10 range. In D tier, you got Hotel Transylvania Transformania, a very adequate film in my opinion. Then in C tier, you got Minions: The Rise of Gru, another really adequate film, but just a little bit more adequate than whatever the hell this was. B tier, you got, in order from worst to best, My Father's Dragon, The Sea Beast, Turning Red, and the Bob's Burgers movie. In A tier, you got Lightyear, DC League of Super Pets, and The Bad Guys. And in S tier, it's The Bad Guys, being the best animated movie of the year, in my opinion. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure you subscribe and have a happy, hippity, hoopity, new year. And I'm going to continue watching or just doing whatever before the time comes to add a 3, take out a 2, and add a number 3 to make it 2023. Bada bing. So yeah, take a one good look at my list and goodbye.